My wife and I are in our 30s, and we have a beautiful baby boy, our first child. Last year, when he was just 6 months old, we flew cross-country to attend a large family reunion and spend time with my parents. The trip was meant to be joyful, celebratory, a moment to introduce our son to extended family. But what unfolded instead nearly fractured our family beyond repair. It all began with custard. Yes, custard. One afternoon, my wife caught my mother, 68, in the kitchen trying to feed our son a spoonful of it. It wasn't just an innocent mistake. It violated two of our clearest, repeatedly discussed rules: no added sugar before 1 year old, and no spoon feeding. We're following baby-led weaning, BLW, and we had explained it to her multiple times. My wife had even gone over these boundaries with her on the phone, via text, and again upon arrival. She had made herself abundantly clear. My wife didn't yell. She didn't make a scene. She quietly took our baby and left the room, visibly shaken. I stayed behind and confronted my mom. Her response? "Because I knew you'd say no." I felt my blood boil. That sentence said everything. She knew she was crossing a line and did it anyway. Later, she claimed she was being sarcastic. But her sister, my aunt, was there and confirmed she had said it seriously. My aunt even pulled me aside later and told me, "Your wife is right to be upset. That wasn't okay." And this wasn't the first time my mom had ignored our parenting boundaries. Shortly after our son was born, she demanded daily photos, specifically by 9 a.m., despite us having asked for no requests before 10 a.m., so we could sleep in or handle morning chaos without pressure. Her reply? "Rules don't apply to Grandma." It became a pattern. Push a boundary, act like we're overreacting, then demand forgiveness without accountability. We attempted to address the custard incident the next day. My wife and I sat down with both my parents. My mom offered an apology, sort of, but quickly started backpedaling. "It wasn't even a spoon," she said. "It was a fork." Then, "He reached for it himself." When my wife tried to calmly clarify, my mom interrupted her 3 times in less than a minute. My dad chimed in, telling us we were being too harsh. Later, my mom told other relatives that my wife had screamed at her. Neither of us remember screaming. Firm? Yes. Emotional? Of course. Screaming? No. But we didn't try to gaslight her. We just noted that our memories differed. We cut our trip short. When we got home, communication chilled. My wife, who had previously sent daily photos and videos, stopped entirely. I took over the occasional photo update. My wife felt too vulnerable, too raw, too betrayed. I didn't blame her. In the months that followed, we tried to rebuild. My wife, who was still struggling with postpartum anxiety and depression, proposed a thoughtful exercise. Both sides would answer questions about their expectations as grandparents and parents, and we'd come together to discuss. We offered a conditional olive branch. If we could complete the exercise together respectfully, they could attend our son's first birthday. They agreed, but then repeatedly canceled or delayed the conversation. When we finally set a date, my mom refused to appear on camera. Her reason? "I'm not getting dressed just for a Zoom call." Instead, she said she'd just listen. My wife, already exhausted from parenting and managing her mental health, saw this as yet another sign that her effort and vulnerability weren't being matched. She rescinded the birthday invitation. That same week, my mom sent a message that was part passive aggression, part threat. Well, if this is how it's going to be, I don't know how we move forward. Then, hours later, she wrote a completely different excuse about how she wasn't feeling well. We were done with the back and forth. With the help of our couple's therapist, we made a firm decision. Before any further visits or reconciliation, my parents needed to seek therapy, separately or together. We told them this calmly, with compassion. Their response? More deflection. They mentioned the screaming again, questioned whether therapy was even necessary, and closed with, "We'd still like to get pictures of the baby every once in a while." I held the line. I replied kindly but firmly. Casual conversation could continue, but there would be no photos, no visits, no parenting input, until they took that step toward accountability. It didn't stop there. A few weeks later, I discovered that my mom had been privately messaging one of my wife's relatives on Facebook, trying to get her side across and correct the record. She portrayed my wife as irrational, overly sensitive, even hinted she was controlling me. This betrayal blew a hole in any remaining trust. My wife was devastated. The relative sent us screenshots, unsure whether to respond but feeling we deserved to know. Then came Christmas. My mom mailed a massive box filled with presents, clothes, toys, even an engraved bracelet with "Grandma's Boy" etched on it. Attached was a handwritten letter addressed to our son, who cannot yet read, pleading with him to never forget Grandma loves you. There was no note to us, no apology, no recognition of boundaries, just emotional manipulation in glitter wrapping paper. We didn't open the gifts. We donated them. In the new year, my dad began calling me alone, sometimes late at night. He asked if I was happy, said he feared I was cutting myself off from family. He never once addressed the core issue: their disregard for our parenting, their refusal to take responsibility, or the emotional toll on my wife. He wanted resolution without accountability. I love my parents. I truly do. But loving someone doesn't mean accepting mistreatment or allowing them to disrespect your partner, your values, or your child's needs. We're still in limbo. They haven't gone to therapy. They haven't apologized meaningfully, and we're still protecting our peace. Maybe they'll change. Maybe they won't. But for now, we're building something better, within our own little family day by day. Boundaries are not punishment. They are protection.